right. The Miami Hurricanes have lost to the Texas A&M Aggies 17-9. We got a special guest, Miami Hurricane football player backstage. I know Canes fans definitely appreciate his take. But Ross, overall, we played to lose the game tonight, unfortunately. Offensively and special teams did not hold their end of the bargain, and we played to lose tonight's football game. I want to start off with special teams. Tyreek Stevenson, he's a veteran player. Awful, awful mistake. It cost us 7 points, and it hurt us. It hurt us because on that drive in the first quarter, we stopped Texas A&M on a 3-and-out. Okay, we had momentum. We were getting pressure to Max Johnson. I thought we could have scored that drive, honestly, with all the momentum building. Tyreek Stevenson, deadly mistake. Defense back on the field, it's an easy 7 points. Borregales, we missed 2 field goals. One was on him, the other one, look, maybe he kicked it a little low. Maybe it's on the O-line, but we missed 2 field goals. 6 points. Offense, Tyler Van Dyke. This was his worst performance as a Miami Hurricane. He looked completely uncomfortable in the first half. He missed Michael Redding on a wide open pass. The last pass to Brashard Smith was actually his best pass, in my opinion. Dropped through the hands. We'll get into Josh Gaddis' play call in a little bit. I thought there was a play with Keyshawn Smith. He tried to catch it with one hand. It was a dive. I thought he underthrew him. He could have aired it out a lot more. So much to take in for this game. Defense played phenomenal. I want to hear your take, Ross, and then we'll bring in our special guests.
You know that I go to the Stevenson fumble there, dude, because honestly, I felt a massive change in momentum after that. I mean, I just felt a huge swing, honestly. And while we had some things that happened decent for us, after that, often we didn't. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a game where the football gods sometimes just don't let the ball bounce your way. We witnessed it a couple times. I just felt this nasty momentum swing, and something like that early shouldn't do that in a game. There should be plenty of time to correct those kind of things. And we were still in a winnable game. So it's not like I'm not saying that's the play that lost us the game. I'm just saying that, man, to me, it just really felt like that's the one that, obviously put us back and made us had to try to climb back in instead of just being neck and neck, And then next thing you know, it's fourth quarter and we're having to, drive and get a 2-point conversion or something just to hang in, So we often put ourselves in bad positions on third downs. There were like you said, we'll get to the Gaddis stuff, but some strange second down calls that I thought that put us in third down positions that were bad. Defense, like you said, played great, man. Leonard Taylor, dude, he's going to be a problem for us. He's going to be a beast for us, straight up. I can't blame any of this on the defense, man. I really can't, because they're the only thing that kept us in this game. They kept us in a game against an SEC opponent with a loaded roster. And even though on defense they were missing some pieces and stuff like that, and they didn't have Evan Stewart, that's still a team with some depth. So I mean, they still obviously had skilled players. We were in that game. We still had a chance to tie it up and be in it, dude. So it just sucks that our offense couldn't come up with enough points to even reach the 20 mark to put us ahead in this game. A 15, 17 point mark, to tie it up. We couldn't even hit that point. That hurts, man.
Offense had 27 first downs, 0 points. That's the first time since the year 2000 that's ever happened to a college football team. All right. With that being said, let's bring in Chavez Grant. Chavez, welcome back on the scoop. I apologize. I wish you could have came on, a big win over Texas A&M, but would love to hear your thoughts, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate you guys reaching out. But yeah, man, everything you guys said is, you took the words right out of my mouth. Where to begin? The the muff punt by Stevenson. It just wasn't necessary. Like, we didn't need it. We didn't need like a big return. We didn't need a big play. We just needed the ball back. That was it. Just get the ball back, and even if we drive and don't get any points, it's now still a 7-point game. It's 10-3. So it just wasn't necessary. So that part I didn't get. And then like you said, and it my exact word, what you said about Van Dyke, he just looked uncomfortable. He just didn't look like himself. He underthrew a lot of passes. I don't understand it, because even we talked about it before last year. The O-line actually looked good. Like, he had time to throw, he had time to step up into his passes, and he just wasn't making them. Like you said, he missed a big throw across the middle. Had he made that throw to, I think it was Redding, if you see the back shot that they showed, if he turns that corner, it's an 80-yard gain or whatever it is. So
100%.
the O-line, man, I think it did pretty good. Our running game is pretty good. We had like over 100 yards, I believe, in the first half, but we did move the ball well. We just didn't capitalize, man. Van Dyke, like you said, might have been his worst passing game. I was really shocked to see that he played that way. I was really shocked, because I think we had a lot of opportunities, and his play just wasn't up to par tonight. And I don't know what it is. Maybe he's still getting comfortable in the offense, but then I can't say that, because he was just missing throws. But yeah, man, just everything you guys said, man. The defense played really well. The D-line got pressure. Our secondary was covering guys all over him. I just think that our offense just didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
Shabs, I'm curious about the play call by Josh Gaddis. I felt like when we got into the red zones specifically, it was awful. We ran the ball one time. I think it was early in the second half, or maybe late in the second quarter, where we just ran it 3 times. We even did a quarterback keep with Tyler Van Dyke. I don't know if it was a read option, but like, Tyler Van Dyke's not a running quarterback.
I don't know why you do that.
The second time we were in the red zone, I believe in the second half, we didn't take any shots in the end zone. We literally, I don't know if maybe Tyler Van Dyke's first read wasn't there and he just dumped it off to a receiver, a different option. But I mean, a lot of the passes that, I don't know if they were designed or not, but there are a lot of short play calls, very conservative, nothing aggressive. It was just a flat offense. I'm just trying to understand, Josh Gaddis was a Broyles Award finalist, coming to Miami, and this game it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know if it's something they saw in the game plan, or they threw a lot of like swing passes, like some bubble passes. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they thought, because like I said, we ran the ball pretty well. We ran the ball pretty well. So I don't know if that was his intent to say, we're just going to really lean on the run. If it was, then that was great up until the red zone. But yeah, when you got a quarterback like Tyler Van Dyke, man, I know he was struggling in the game. He didn't have a great game, but you got to take some shots. He's got the big arm. We've got the guys who can get downfield. You've got to at least threaten the defense with that.
Yeah, no, I honestly think, defense put us in a position to win this football game, and we still had a chance at the end. I think it's never a good thing when your kicker is up for 5 field goal attempts in a football game.
Yeah, I think 100%. Yeah,
really, that's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
Ross, I want to hear your take about Josh Gaddis' play call today, because that's really the hot topic, and obviously Tyler Van Dyke.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame it all on his play calling. Players missed plays. Execution is a huge deal when it comes to play calling. It's not just the X's and O's; it's the execution on the field. And wide receivers at times, coming out of their breaks too late. TBD's looking at these things, dude, on a real strict timing basis. Like he's used to putting it boom, boom, boom. We saw him last year. He's used to that, right on the money, not having to second guess anything. And I'm wondering if he's having to kind of slight second guess some of this stuff, because he doesn't know when some of these guys are coming out of their breaks. He doesn't know if they're coming out of their breaks hard, tough, if they're really even looking for the pass. But like Chavez said though, you gotta air it out with this guy a couple times though. You gotta let him breathe, man. This is TVD, bro. Like we saw the plays he can make. Now, those second downs that I'll refer to from Gaddis, there were some second down play calls that put us in third and down, or third in some odd situations that I really didn't like. But I'll tell you what, even though they were tough situations, I watched TVD make a lot of those throws last year when he was given the opportunity to do it. We didn't even give him the opportunity. We just had guys go out, basically run BS routes, and then we'd have something underneath with everybody else blocking up front, hoping for yards after the catch on third down. Just hoping for it. We didn't take a shot past the third down marker. I don't know if we did, maybe once, twice, maybe at most. It's just, to me, that's not a way to win with a quarterback with a big arm that's talented and accurate. It's no way to do it.
Chavez, what do you think about our wide receiver core? I know Restrepo, our leading wide receiver going into this game, he's out with a foot injury. I thought, besides, Tyler Van Dyke missing a lot of opportunities, we didn't have any explosive plays besides Jacoby George. He had one play, almost took it to the house. But I don't see any playmakers on this wide receiver core. I really don't see any X factors. I really don't.
Yeah.
And Rashard Smith's drop pass at the end of the game was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we have like a true, like number one receiver that we can say, hey, look, we need, 12 yards. Let's go to this guy. I don't believe we have that, but I do believe as a whole that we have guys who are capable. I think tonight was more about TVD's passing. It just wasn't. He didn't look comfortable. I wouldn't say he was scared. I'm not going to go that far, but he just didn't look comfortable. I don't know if he's not comfortable in the offense. But at the end of the game, I think he made a good throw, a good clutch throw. We just had a guy who dropped the ball. I think the throw across the middle to Redding that he missed would have been a big play. He threw a good pass down the sideline to Arroyo. And that was, I guess you call that a big play, but so he had some flashes. And like I said, as a whole, I believe we have the guys. We saw Jacoby George on the swing pass, and he got us a first down, almost scored. So, I think the sum of its parts is capable enough. I just think that our team is going to depend on the play of TVD. I think it's that simple, and we can see tonight that if he's not on, then we score 9 points.
I agree. No, I completely agree. Unless we're just, we kind of just run heavy moving forward, and we just rely on the run game, which was the most effective part of our game today. Parrish and Knight. We didn't see Thad Franklin in the red zone. We didn't see him at all. It was the only thing I seen on the run game because he was effective. Goal line situations, short yardage situations. Would have liked to see him a little bit in the red zone. Maybe just we were basically couldn't score a touchdown. Yeah, we didn't score any touchdowns. So I would have liked to see that. Chavez, I'm going to ask you and Ross this question because I think Clemson is in a similar position. Do we have a Clemson problem with our offense right now? Or is it too early to claim that? Because first half versus Southern Miss, it wasn't clicking. Even the second half, it wasn't really clicking in my. Tyler Van Dyke wasn't the same. It wasn't his best performance. And today was really bad. So are we in a similar situation, you think, or it's still too early?
I would say I would probably say it's too early. First year, new coordinator. We know TVD is capable. We've seen it. I truly think that this offense is totally different from the Rhett Lashley offense. The Rhett Lashley offense seemed to be more up, a faster pace, and it was about throwing it around. 5 wide, 4 wide. We're gonna, we're gunslinging it. I think Gaddis's offense, coming from Michigan, I think that in Michigan it worked because I think Michigan was more of a run-centric team. I think Jim Harbaugh is more of a run-first coach. So they ran that very pro style offense. We're going to run it. We'll throw it short because it's 3rd and 3. Because we had a good run on 1st and 2nd down. We're going to throw it on 3rd and short. So I think that was Michigan's identity, and that was great for Josh Gaddis. However, here TVD has shown you he needs to throw the ball, and so I just think he felt really uncomfortable. Having to throw a lot of short passes when I think he really wants to air it out. We've seen his big arm. So I think it's going to take some time for Gaddis and TVD to get on the same page, and for Gaddis to figure out, okay, what kind of quarterback do I have, and for TVD to figure out, okay, what kind of offense are we trying to run, and how do our styles match up. So I think it's a little too early, and I say give it a little time. It's still the first year. We got a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, whole new system. So we do have to give it some time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to give it time. We have Middle Tennessee State, but we do need to wake up, I think, offensively.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, something hasn't been clicking. It's not the same quarterback we've had.
I mean, it has to eventually come down to looking at your quarterback and the play calling that he's going through, and if he's comfortable with the play calling, if it's something that's actually fitting his strengths, if it's something that's it's completely not fitting his strengths. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of plays actually that I don't feel really go to his strengths. The type of plays that get him in a groove early on. I'm not seeing that, and I'm not seeing why. I'm not seeing why there should be a problem doing it, because there's a blueprint already on how to do it, and it was successful last year. I understand Gaddis had run the Burroughs Award. He did his own thing, and he did it in a very different way. But as an OC, and especially as a new age OC, you got to be adaptable. You got to play with the players you had, and that was the one thing that really was a big reason why people felt he won the Burroughs Award, is because at Michigan he lost his best deep threat, and it completely changed their offense. They didn't really have any deep wide receivers after that. But what he did after that was methodical, and it worked. It was that power stuff. It was like a little more lean on Harbaugh style. But that's what worked for him. It wasn't just a QB going out there and making plays, airing out, putting up crazy stats. It was a QB making plays when asked to. But other than that, the power game and everything else like that really took over. And yeah, you can get guys to the outside. You get guys with speed involved and stuff like that. There's no problem. A lot of times that it was short, but it was done so methodically well that guys were getting yards after the catch. And that's one thing that we're not doing when we go short. We don't get yards after the catch right now, and we've got the athletes to do it. And so that just tells me there's something clearly wrong there, that we're not getting separation close by the within at least 5-7 yards of the line of scrimmage. We're not getting any type of separation, I guess.
Chavez, I thought this was DJ. I know we're going to go a little 180 here, but DJ Ivey deserves credit. It's the best game of his career, I think, as a Miami Hurricane, and a big matchup. What do you think changed? I mean, the defense played phenomenal, but I honestly thought our corners were going to be a little bit vulnerable this game, regardless of the quarterback situation. I thought they were going to be trouble, but they really did a very good job. What do you think changed in the secondary? Because we played phenomenal, and DJ Ivey stepped up, and Cam Kitchens is our best safety, in my opinion. Have to say.
Yeah. I think that was what immediately jumped out at me watching the game. Number one was the play of our secondary. Number two was the D-line pressure, especially Leonard Taylor. They weren't getting to the quarterback, but there was pressure. That pocket was collapsing. And then the O-line play in the run game. But yeah, the secondary was, oh man, being a former DB, that was it was lovely. It was lovely watching it, man. And we heard a lot of talk about DJ Ivey in the offseason, and he showed up tonight. He really did. But the entire secondary showed up, man. Cam Kitchens is doing his thing. James Williams back there, to Corey Couch. Man, they really showed up today, man. They made it tough. Anytime we threw, if they made a catch, we were right there on the tackle. Had some good pass breakups. So I don't know what Kevin Steele has got them boys got going, and the new secondary coach, but they really showed up today, man. I was thoroughly impressed. And I'm looking forward to what the defense is going to do for the year. As a whole going forward, they really showed up, man. I think Texas A&M had 264 total yards in the game. I mean, that's crazy. I think they were 4 for 12 on third down or something like that. I mean, that especially in this age and era where teams are doing 400, 500 yards a game, throwing the ball around the field. Um, Kevin Stills really got something going this game, man. So I think it was a great game plan, and the secondary really showed up this game.
Yeah, looking through the stats here, we held them to 16 first downs. Like you said, Chavez, third down efficiency 4 out of 12. Total yards, 264. We had 392 total yards. Or we held them to passing at 140 passing yards. Miami had 217. They only
That
completed 10 passes.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
140 yards passing. That is crazy. In the year 2022, where it's five wide, hurry up offense, that's amazing. That's really amazing. But just to flip back a little bit, I mean, look at the yardage that we had. So we did move the ball. We just didn't capitalize in the red zone, as we've been saying. But yeah, man, that's the defense played out of its mind tonight.
Ross, anything you want to bring up we haven't really mentioned yet that's caught your attention?
Uh, I guess the dependence on certain players. While Mallory, of course, had his brutal, snap there when he landed on his neck and his head, and I mean he was right back in, and he actually started making a little bit of plays after that, which was kind of nuts. Because a play like that, you're not sure if a guy's coming back out or not. And he came out and he actually started making some plays, but there's got to be. I mean, let's just face it. Arroyo's a better playmaker, in my opinion. Arroyo can do more with the ball if you get it to him. He can stretch the field more. He can be more of a mismatch. There's no reason to hold these kind of guys back. This isn't the old, well, we got to stand and block, unless we truly believe our offensive line is bad enough that we need guys to stand and block. And on certain plays for, Man Morelli and them, yeah, I get it. We use an extra blocker for certain reasons, for legitimate reasons. But we've even got a guy like Jaleel Skinner, who is a complete and total mismatch, even as a true freshman. So I really don't see what the deal is, and especially after seeing what Jimbo did today with losing a bunch of his players, having to go to some inexperienced backups sometimes, and go to some young backups sometimes, guys getting playing time and proving themselves. And we saw usually when our young guys get the right kind of playing time and the right opportunities, they step up. And I just, I see us, we're discombobulated, man. We're spread out. Things aren't matching. 1 and 1 isn't equaling 2 right now on our offense for some reason. And I don't know what Gaddis has to do except maybe take a look back at the tape from last year and take a look at what made TBD comfortable and try to mimic some of that, because there's no reason why we should continue what we're doing right now, because what we're doing isn't working.
No, I agree, and it's crazy because like Mario's in year 1. This is this isn't even his personnel yet. Like it's the player I thought that wouldn't retract at all. I thought would just improve because he has his own personal quarterback coach with Frank Ponce. He has Josh Gaddis, the Bros Award finalist. I thought Tyler Van Dyke would just improve this year. He would get better. He was the 4th best quarterback prospect coming into this year, and he's not draftable right now, in my opinion. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation, and I hope it just improves. It's just I don't know. I'm just really annoyed by today's performance offensively, and I don't know. We'll see what happens against Middle Tennessee State. Chavez, anything that you saw that we didn't bring up? So far, I think we covered a lot with the 25 minutes we had. We have 177 people watching us live, so thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yeah. First of all, thanks everyone for joining us, man. But yeah, no, I think we covered it all. Nothing, like I said, the top 3 things that really jumped out at me was the secondary play, the D line and the O line play. Um, and I thought somewhat of what you just said as well. I'm like, man, it looks like TVD is regressing. So and look, it is one game at the end of the day, but as Canes fans, we do hold our team to a high standard. We hold Mario Cristobal to a high standard. We know the coaching staff that we have. We know what we've invested in the coaching staff, so we do expect results. Especially when we've seen TVD play a lot better. Um, so that was a little concerning, but you know what, man? I think we played well overall. Like I said, the stats show that we played well. The defense played phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm looking forward to what comes next. I think it was our first true test this year. Obviously, we all know that. With the first two teams we played, it didn't matter. It was our first true test. But I think as fans, what comes from this is when our next true test comes about, then what do we see? Then I think that's when we can really make an evaluation and say, um, okay, our first test was Texas A&M. Here's the mistakes we made. Are we making those same mistakes? Middle Tennessee State is not concerned about that. So our next true test is really going to show what this coaching staff is really about, and it's going to show us, if they've truly taken into account the mistakes from this game and how we could have capitalized. And it's cliche to say it, but we did beat ourselves this game. I mean, the
Yeah.
Texas A&M didn't beat us by any means. We made a lot of mistakes. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah. I mean, they had two guys ejected for targeting. The
Mm-hmm.
back-to-back holding calls at the end was awful. Everyone's talking about this Tyreek Stevenson multiplying or whatever that was. The ball
Mm-hmm.
bounced then with seven guys in front of him. The border got us, two missed field goals.
Mm-hmm.
Offense played off. I mean, yeah, we left a lot of points on the board. We created turnovers, and it's interesting. And this says something. Texas A&M, they didn't commit any turnovers until like that last minute muff punt, which we even should have
Yeah.
executed. We should have gotten there. The punt
Mm-hmm.
returner recovered the fumble.
Yeah.
We should have executed on that as well. But
Yeah.
Texas A&M offensively did something, which is what Jimbo Fisher did to bring in this quarterback. Do not turn the ball over, and
Yeah.
that's what he did. And I think that's what won them the game. Besides Miami shooting themselves in the foot as well, that's what helped them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And even with everything we've discussed, we were still in a position to drive down and at least score and get a 2-point conversion. Um, we were still in position. He clearly dropped the pass. Tyler Van Dyke did his job. The O line did his job, gave him a clean pocket. He stepped up, made a good throw right through his hand. We were still in position, to win the game. We were still competitive. So with everything said, like I said, I'm still optimistic. I do hold the team accountable for the mistakes they made because we could have easily won this game. But all in all, I think we'll be fine.
Ross, we got Middle Tennessee State. We're going into ACC conference play after that. I think we get a bye week either before North Carolina and then it's straight conference play. How are you feeling the rest of the way? What are your thoughts about going into conference play and things we need to get fixed before? Honestly, no, before we get into conference play because you got to win every conference game. You can't lose one.
We have the defense to win in the ACC. There's no doubt about it. The offense is just going to have to start to find more ways to get points on the board. That's just plain and simple. I trust this defense. I trust Kevin Steele. I trust Coach Strong, Coach Dyke. I trust what these guys are doing. I watched what they did today against an SEC team that's loaded with 4 and 5 star talent. Even though they were playing some backups and stuff, these were young guys, but a lot of them are still highly rated. We had the defense alone right there is going to win us some games in the ACC. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is that offense right there could also lose us some games in the ACC. So we really got to tread there kind of lightly because these same mistakes on offense can't just be made over and over and over and over and over again. It just can't happen. Parrish is turned into a versatile, useful running back. He flat out
Oh yeah.
is. I mean, he's a piece that needs to be utilized no matter who's healthy and who's in the backfield. Very, very impressed by him. Would like to see a little more of Thad when it's the right time to see a little more of Thad. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to see that. But before we get on with anything, there's just one play I want to talk about because I don't want everything to be just completely negative. Because like I said, the defense did a phenomenal job. There's one play that really stuck out to me in my mind. The great defensive stop right before the half, that coverage sack that Harvey got.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, that beautiful. He spied him, came around from the outside, jumped inside the inside lane, while all of our guys had everybody covered beautifully, nowhere to throw the ball. And Harvey read that perfectly as almost basically a spy on that play. And dude, that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous defensive football. Like if you're a fan of defensive football, that was defensive porn straight up.
Yeah.
Like, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We can do this in the ACC and knock teams around because they're not used to that defense. We got to put up points, period. End of story.
Completely agree, Ross. Shav, is anything going into conference play you want to work on, moving forward? Because we got to, once it's conference play, like I said previously, we can't lose a game. We can't lose. We got to get to the ACC title game and win it.
Yeah, but just to piggyback off Ross, man, and what we've been saying the entire show, our defense is legit. It looks legit. I think that it could, like, just to piggyback off what he said, it could win us, the rest of these games. I don't think, in my opinion, we don't face another legitimate team until we get to Clemson. Clemson and then Pittsburgh, but Duke, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, we should run through that schedule with the way our defense plays and the way we know that TBD can play. The only thing that I would want to see us work on is the red zone offense. We had over 300, close to 400 yards of offense. I mean, and that's with TBD playing a bad game. I mean, imagine if Parrish catches the pass out of the backfield. I think that was on third down. If he turns that corner, that's another 20 yards. If he hits Redding, that's another 50 yards. So, now we've got 450, close to 500 yards of offense, on two plays. So I think we moved the ball well, we ran the ball well. So we know that we can do that. It's just about capitalizing the red zone, man. And, if we can get, a halfway decent game, look, we got a decent game out of TBD. But if we can get TBD to play like we know TBD can play and command the offense and take some shots downfield just to open it up a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I don't see another test until we get to Clemson.
That second down run that we had to TBD, in the second half, that second down run that we had for him in the goal line package was one of the oddest things I've seen in a while. Bro, like that was just strange, bro. You can tell TBD himself was just like, what the hell are they doing? Like what are they why are they making me do this? Everything looked and felt uncomfortable from the jump, bro. That just that can't happen. We got a really, really expensive coaching staff.
Yeah,
we got to put that kind of stuff together. That there's just no excuse for that kind of stuff to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Just hand it off. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap it up, is there anything else you guys want to just comment about before we end tonight's live show?
Man, James Williams and Cam Kinchens, some bad boys back there, man. That's all I can say. Some bad boys.
Yeah, we talked about that last year, man. I'm not concerned about the future of our safety play at all. Man. They're versatile. You got James Williams comes down. He can come down in the box if he needs to. You got Al Blaze Jr. still back there. You still got Avonte Williams back there.
You've seen Williams playing some coverage lately too?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. He adds that to his game, bro. It's the whole package.
Yeah. Oh, he's so versatile, man. He can play, he can play linebacker, he plays safety, he was playing in the slot. I mean, he was all over the place. So yeah, I'm not concerned about our safety play, man. Like I said, the defense played really well. I'm optimistic about that. At the end of the day, man, we beat ourselves. We truly did. But I think this thing will come together. I think we've got the right coaching staff to do it. I think the coaching staff expects that out of themselves, and I think we all know that Cristobal will hold them accountable. So I think the offense will get right. They'll fix the red zone offense. If we score one touchdown, maybe right now we're watching overtime. So, you know, so I think the future is bright, man. Just want them to remain consistent and just keep your head up, man. We're fans and we're critical of our team because we want the best. But at the end of the day, we do support them, and I'm happy to see our trajectory right now.
Well, Chavez, we greatly appreciate your input on the game. Definitely always appreciate you coming on the scoop, and thank you, man. Greatly appreciate it, and everyone who tuned in tonight as well.
Yeah. So thank you guys, man. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Of course, man. Of course. Appreciate it, Chavez. And always, all about the U. Make sure you guys can hit the like button and subscribe on the way out. And yeah, we got Middle Tennessee State next week, and then conference play begins after the bye week. So gotta get back to work.
Let's whoop that ass next week. Straight up. Forget all this stuff, and let's just whoop that ass next week. That's
get back on track. Yep, get back on track.
Absolutely. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Peace.
All right, fellas.